Okay, guys, welcome back to another video. I'm here with Cherie Brown. Is it Cherie or is it Sheree?
Cherie.
Cherie. I just want to make sure I've got you on my phone too. Let me turn this one off and put your speaker on the laptop so I can hear you there. Take your mute off, that is. Hold on one second. Let me make sure we got you. Can you
Take
hear
my
me?
mute. I can
There
hear
we go.
you.
All right, so we're going to do an introduction to stock trading, a beginner sort of look, and I will label it as such. So for as we grow these different groups, and if anyone, people that will be coming behind you, they'll be able to see the appropriate title. So let's jump in. I'm going to pretend that Cherie knows nothing about stocks, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it all is. So what is stock trading? Cherie, trading stocks is simply if the pen or this marker is the security that represents the company and it has a symbol, we'll say in this case it is Tesla and their symbol is TSLA. Trading stocks is simply taking the value of what someone believes it is worth and exchanging it for what somebody else thinks it's worth. And in the system, the money changes hands. The physical security, the certificate of Tesla's stock they don't do that anymore. Back in the day, they used to send you the certificate. I own 100 shares of Tesla. They don't do that anymore. Of course, everything is automated on exchanges and it just is as you would expect, it is all automatic. And most people, I don't even think they would even let you get a physical copy of your ownership. Buying stocks represents ownership in a company. So if you
Okay.
buy Tesla stock, you are a part owner because it's a publicly traded company. You have a board of directors, you have CEO, presidents, managers, etc. And all of these companies are beholden to the shareholders, which would be you and I, whoever buys the stock. They have to answer to the shareholders because the shareholders, in effect, have given them money. The paper, if you will, represents that you have ownership, but literally you are transferring money to them through the system, and they're using your money for general or corporate purposes to
Okay.
build more cars, in this case with Tesla, to pay their employees, et cetera, et cetera. So ownership. Why trade stocks? You know the story. Trading stocks is a very unique opportunity. It allows people to live wherever they want to live, work as
Hmm.
little as they would like, um, make as much money as they would like if they're good at it. Um, and I said, live anywhere you would want to live as long as they have internet service for you to be able to trade. Trading allows you to trade to be able to make money all day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. From
Okay.
7 a.m. to 9:30, it is what's called pre-market.
Okay. Let me write that
Yeah.
from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m.
No, to 9:30.
So
Oh,
nine.
7 a.m. to 8 p.m. is the whole time. And you'll be able to go back and watch this video. So, if you don't get it on, don't worry. So 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., those are market hours. So pre-market before regular hours opens is from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Okay.
Regular hours are from 9:30 in the morning to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And after hours is from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So in pre-market and in after hours, the volume of transactions and the activity is less because it's not the main hours. But money still can be made during those time frames, I can assure you.
Okay.
Um, Trading stocks, Cherie, in general, I think there are a lot of those people who have been told that it is very difficult. They have
Hmm.
been told that it is a lose-lose proposition. They have been told that most people lose their money, and a lot of people do lose their money because probably they don't get any coaching and they didn't understand what they were doing, and they
Mm.
just threw caution to the wind when they were buying stocks. It took some time to learn, but the main thing, and I think we've had this conversation before, is you have to get your head right. You have
Okay.
to go at it with goals in place. You have to approach it very, very seriously, like you're never going to have another dime again. So whatever money you put in there, you need to take care of it. And we'll take care of it by putting in um, buy or sell orders to protect the money. And we'll get into all of that at another time. We might touch on it possibly later, but probably another time. What else? Those would be the reasons why you would trade stocks. Again, it adds more money to all of the things that you would want money for, like vacations, college fund, to be able to retire early, to be able to have more choices.
Mhm.
Trading stocks can afford you to do that. Now, you don't have to move money every day. It might be that you buy this stock today, Tuesday, April the 23rd, but you have no intentions on selling it until you really get some profit. And that might happen until 3 weeks later. You know, and we'll look at stocks and you'll see, we'll look at Tesla, in fact, before we get off the call, so you can see some of the examples. And so that might be more like position trading. You're taking a position in a stock and you're buying it at certain price points. And your goal is to allow the stock to do what you believe it's going to do, which is going to go up. And then at some point, you're going to take the money. When you take money in stocks, if it is less than 1 year of ownership, you're going to pay short-term capital gains taxes. So keep that in mind. You either, Cherie, want to start with a taxable account, which is fine. That's what I have, and also a tax sheltered account. So maybe you have a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, because if you start making money in a tax sheltered account, then obviously you're not paying any taxes on it because it's tax sheltered. So that's another good thing to have if you want to run two accounts. Maybe you have whatever, 5 grand, you're like, I'm going to put $2,500 in a taxable account, and $2,500 in a tax sheltered account. And I'm going to begin to learn, I'm going to grow these balances. Okay. So keep that. Whoops, I think I lost you there. You still there? Okay, keep that in mind.
No, it's fine. A call come through.
You still there?
Yeah, it's a call coming through.
Okay, it's just okay, but you're still there then. Um, is there something you need to answer? Is it connected to something or?
No, it's fine. It's my phone. I'm on Zoom on my phone, so if a call come through, it cut off.
Okay,
But
gotcha,
I
gotcha.
don't know who it is, so I sent the message. Maybe they're calling from a cell phone, hopefully. But
Right,
I'm on my Zoom call right now. I'm not worried about that.
that's right. So questions about those couple of topics? Anything that jumps out at you? Anything that you have a question about?
So a taxable is that is that just so that's not like a regular checking account or anything like that? I would be going to the bank and speaking to my bank and seeing options on a taxable account.
Yeah, you would be asking them to open a brokerage account. So you can
Okay.
write that down, a brokerage account. And you can do that through most of your banks. You can do that with, I'm sure you've heard of Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, and Charles Schwab, and Fidelity. You know, all of those companies, they all have, and the banking industry, they all have brokerage accounts. And
Okay.
so to fund a brokerage account, and we'll can get into that either now or the next time we meet. Usually, you know, a few $100s will do it to open a brokerage account. They'll let you open it and they don't need a whole lot of information other than who you are, where do you live, you know, if maybe some banking information and getting a deposit. And then it's, you know, they're going to ask you, do you want a margin account and some other things, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So a brokerage account. And a brokerage
Okay.
account, it just lets you, like a checking account, you can see your money, and you know with the money you can buy stock because it'll say, what do you want to do? I want to buy Tesla. Enter the symbol TSLA. How many shares do you want to buy? Well, I'll show you here in a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so some terms. Um, Stocks we talked about. Shares are pretty much the same thing. You're buying shares of a company. It's just another term of a stock. A stock represents the company. So you're buying shares of the stock of Tesla. Exchanges is where the trading happens. You've heard of the New York Stock Exchange and the
Mm-hmm.
NASDAQ exchange. And then you have a number of regional exchanges, and we don't need to try to get into all of the names, but there are some regional exchanges. They're not as big as the two main big ones. You have different different sizes of companies, like, and they're defined by their market caps or market capitalization. And that just simply is, what's the price of the stock times how many shares they have outstanding? That equals the market cap. So if you ever hear on TV, you know, NVIDIA's or Tesla's market cap is $2 trillion, that's just how many shares they have out there times the share price equals the market cap. So not a big mystery or anything. So you have the big boys, the big market caps, the big caps, they call them. Then you have mid caps and you have small caps. And they're just smaller companies with what they have out there. Then you also have shares of companies that are unproven, that can be very risky. And they trade typically on the OTC, which is the over-the-counter bulletin board area. And those are your penny stocks.
Okay.
Um, Typically, by definition, penny stocks, sometimes it might be $2 or $3 and down to like less than a penny.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, you'll have stocks that'll trade at 0.005, you know, half of a
A
penny.
nickel. Yeah.
Right. No, half of a penny, not a
Oh,
nickel,
half of
half of a penny, not even a
okay.
penny, but half of a penny.
Half of a penny.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Not even 1 cent.
Not
Half.
even a penny. So, and I'll show you some of that here in a little bit. So just know that those stocks can be manipulated by the market makers. And a market maker is a person who makes a market in the security. So if you and I are on the same team and we work for XYZ company and you and I are market makers and we make a market for Tesla, our job is to, you know, try to marry up the buys and the sells that are out there and some of the other activity that's happening. And sometimes we have to buy shares for ourselves for our own inventory because maybe we know an event is coming, like Tesla's going to report earnings, and we better make sure we have enough shares to be able to sell into whatever's going on. So we're making the market. We're market makers. And a lot of that stuff is all done online, and there are algorithms. There's just a lot of computer-aided trading. There's a lot of stuff that's program trading that happens. I would love to see behind the curtain and visit someone who's in that business so I can get an education on really how does it all really, really work. So I can, so market makers, you got the terms down, stocks, shares, exchanges, market makers, and market capitalization or market caps. You got big caps, mid caps, and small
Mm-hmm.
caps. And then you
Yeah.
have OTC. Put a star
Okay.
by OTC and just put it is
I
riskier.
put I put penny stock.
There you
And
go.
that's penny stock. Okay.
Okay.
Just my abbreviation in the star.
Yeah. So participants in the market, we talk a little bit about that already. You have people who trade stocks, traders that are in there. You have investors who can also be traders, but investors tend to, in general, be folks who are trying to hold longer term. You got brokers like there's just a number of people who touch the marketplace. You've got mutual fund managers, you've got private money managers, you've got hedge fund managers, you got all kinds of people in the marketplace. You got retailers like you and I in there buying stuff. You get a lot of people, and then you've got stuff that you can't see, like they call it dark pool money, and uh, and there's stuff that goes on you're not privy to, that you just can't see in the computer, but someone else can see it. And there's some unfair advantages at times, and you just got to keep rolling with what you can see, control what you can control. And the smarter you get, the easier it tends to become. Um, you have different types of stocks. You have common stock. If you think of, back in the 1500s or whatever, like commoners, the common folk.
Mm-hmm.
So you have common stock for regular people, and then you have preferred stock, like people who have closer ties to the company, and the company is issuing them preferred shares, either class A, B, C, or D. And those preferred shareholders, if anything happens to the company, they get taken care of before the common folk, before the common shareholders, stock shareholders.
Okay.
Makes sense? So just like it sounds, you're either common, you're a regular Joe buying stocks like me, and then you have the people that said, "Hey, I know some folks at wherever they want to borrow some money our from our funds. Maybe I'm a private money manager. I'm going to give them $1 million. They're going to issue me preferred shares, Class A, at whatever price point, da 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 da, and maybe it's at a discount than what you can buy it. But I will have some restrictions on how long I must hold it. And it may be several months. Like, I can't just turn around and sell it. If I bought it at a discount and I gave you a few $1 million, the requirements may be that I have to hold it for 6 months to a year or something. So there's some different rules there. Speaking of rules, there's a lot of financial reporting that has to be done by companies, obviously. You've heard it a million times. Such and such company is reporting earnings today. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why they have to report, because the SEC requires it, FINRA requires, it's another reporting agency. The shareholders require that you give an account of what you're doing with our money, because we own part of the company. And so there's a lot of reporting and checks and balances that must be met. Questions about that little bit that we went over?
My question is, so if you, like you were saying, if you pull out, if so when you do the stock, you were saying that you have to, at least the first year, you have to have it in there for a year.
No, no, I'm talking about people who are preferred shareholders. They may
Okay,
have restrictions.
they may have. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And there's
Could
in
preferred, I'm
preferred
sorry.
shares.
Could preferred share stockholders be like, let's say when I started with Home Depot and
Hmm.
we opened stock with Home Depot, and
Hmm.
they said, oh, okay, well, you bought 2 shares. Is that a preferred?
No, you'll
No.
probably be able to turn around and sell that too, because it's part of a different system, probably within the 401k system.
Okay.
Um, but to your point, it can be somewhat similar. Like, if you work for Home Depot and say you were, well, it doesn't really have to be a manager, and they issued you 1,000 shares of Home Depot. There's a vesting schedule. Like, say we issued it to you, but you need to be with us a year. And then after you've been with us 5 years, now your vesting schedule is 50. There's different things they can issue, and there's different levels depending how long you've worked with them as far as you being able to capitalize on that relationship better vesting schedule. Because if they're adding not only shares that you bought, but they're adding their own shares, like that you didn't buy, but they're giving you shares, there's a vesting schedule, a vesting period. So depending on what the little nuances were, it could be similar to that where you would have to wait a certain period of time. But you, as like me, you don't have to wait a year. I could buy stock right now and turn around 1 minute later, 30 seconds later, and sell it
Okay.
instantly. And I'll show you, I'll pull it up here in a little bit.
Okay.
Make sense? So,
Yeah.
but the year period also is you will pay less in capital gains taxes if you hold something a year or beyond. So taxes, short-term capital gains taxes, anything less than a year, long-term capital gains taxes, anything more than a year. Short-term capital gains taxes, I think, is 37%. And long-term is whatever it is, because I never hold long-term, so I don't even know. It's probably like 10% or 20% or something. Schools will be open tomorrow on a 2-hour delay.
Okay.
Just got that from Scott. We still go there in an 8-4. Sorry, let me not worry about this because we're recording. So does that make sense? Don't get too bogged down into the minutia. For your purposes as a retail investor, you're either going to be holding stuff for the short term or the long term. And you're either going to have it taxable or non-taxable as far as the account. You can have, but you can have both. So if you have a 401k at your old job and you're starting to get good at this moving money thing with stocks, you might say, I'm going to roll my 401k over to my Roth IRA. So it's tax sheltered here. I'm going to roll into another tax sheltered vehicle. And I'm going to put that money to work because I can make more money than the mutual fund manager can make me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. There are different types of, little brokerage account. Opening a brokerage account is just, you can do that online. So we'll take a peek here. We'll go to, I'll share my screen. Yeah, you can just go to TD Ameritrade, open a new account, and it'll be the same way at every bank, no matter where you go. And you'll just, like, if I click on open a new account, this case, it would be opening a Schwab account because TD Ameritrade was bought by Charles Schwab. My whole accounts, all of them are transitioning to TD Ameritrade by like the middle of May.
Okay.
So I need to start to get familiar with Schwab. But TD Thinkorswim, the platform, will still be over at Schwab. So meaning, I'll show you here, the platform that I trade under looks like this.
Okay.
So TD Ameritrade, you can see my name up here, Brown. The platform, this is Thinkorswim. There's also the regular area where you can check on your money under tdameritrade.com. This is Thinkorswim that is owned by TD Ameritrade, which is now owned by Schwab. So since we're here, we'll take a look at a couple of things. So if I wanted to buy Tesla, I would just, I'd go to my account, log in, get to Tesla, and it would be as simple as, if I wanted to buy something at the market, I could click on these big buttons over here. And if I wanted to buy 100 shares or whatever quantity I want to put in here, I would click buy at the market and it would automatically buy it. So right here, this B is the bid and the A is the ask. So the bid is, hey, like you're at an auction, you hold up the paddle. Hey, I want to buy it at $146.25. That's what they're bidding right now. It just changed. And the ask is, well, that's wonderful, but I'm on the ask. I'm asking this for it. I want to sell it at 146.29. And so the system is trying to marry up the bids and the ask. And you can see time and sales here, like what's going on with it. Sorry, if I go to Tesla. You can see the last trade, someone bought 50 shares, someone sold 50 shares, well, whatever. Someone bought 1,100 shares at $146 and it already went past. And like $146 and some change. So you can see the size of the orders too. So if I do this 399 shares that someone sold, 399 times 146.25, someone spent $58,353 when they sold it. So you can see the size of these orders. It could have been a mutual fund company, it could have been a private money manager. And when you see like 8 shares, 2 shares, it's probably an individual. When you see like 500 shares, it's probably someone either has a lot of money or it's like a fund manager or something. And so time and sales will show you what's going on. Green is typically buys, red is typically sells. There are codes in here, Cherie, that market makers use to communicate with each other. Sometimes if you see a lot of ones on a lower price stock, they may be indicating, and we'd have to verify this, that, hey, I need some shares, like I'm almost out of shares. There's different market maker codes that are in there. And you can look it up, market maker codes, and it'll show you like 1 through 9 or whatever. But in this case, it doesn't, 2 shares and stuff, that doesn't mean it's anybody's market maker or anything. Buying 2 shares of Tesla would cost somebody $300. So it might have been just a regular person buying 2 shares. There's a thing called level 2. Level 2 will show you, click on level 2 over here. It'll show you the size of the bid versus the ask. So right now you have 3 times versus 2 times over here. In that moment, there were more people on the ask that wanted to sell it than wanted to buy it. This is very fluid here. But if you start to see this is really growing, say this was 10 times versus 1 time, there are a lot of people trying to get it. There are 10 times more than what's over here trying to buy the stock. And if you got a lot of people trying to buy the stock typically go up because you got more demand for it, right? Supply and demand. So we'll get into all of this stuff, not today, but I just wanted to touch on it. The charts, you can see what you're looking at are called candlesticks because they look like candles. If I go make this bigger, let's look at this typically looks like a candle. It's a long thing with a little wick, candle. The Japanese came up with this system years and years and years ago. I think it was in the 1800s, and the Americans adopted this system of candlestick charting. And what candlestick charting does, I'll hover over this one. Up here, you'll see the date, today's date, and this O is for the open. Where did the stock open at? What was the high for the H? What was the low? And where did it close? I don't know what the R is, and I don't know what the Y is because I never have cause to even think about it or use it, but maybe I'll figure what that is one day. So if I'm looking at this, whatever, I'm looking at this stock, says the open was, they're showing it here at 229.34. The high was here. The low would have been the same thing as the open, just about. Yeah, 229. Sometimes the stuff is off a little, and the close should be right here at 236. And you can see these numbers over here. So when I hover over this corner, you see 236 and some change. I'm not exactly on it, but you see up top here, the close was 236.86. And that is this corner right here. So this representation of this candle paints you a picture of what's going on. If I just arbitrarily look at this, I can tell that we opened somewhere here, we ran up to here, but we closed on the low. Let's see here. We closed. Let's see here. Let me make sure here. I can't see 225. Yeah, which would have been down here. And as you get used to the candles, you'll start to understand how they can help you decide what you're going to do. Also with charting, you see patterns. Like, what do you see here? What is this thing going? Hold on. What is this? Uptrend or a downtrend?
It's a downtrend, but it shows you the days that it's been going active and everything.
Yep, it's a downtrend, and then you kind of paused here, and then we started to go up. So this downtrend line represents resistance. And then we broke through that right here because we skipped over it. Not only did we break through it, we gapped away from this close. You see this space here? We opened way up here when we closed down here. So we gapped up above resistance. And we'll go through all of this, I just want to touch on it. You can see here, Sheree, what does this look? What do you think this line represents?
At the bottom, the red lines.
Just this red line
That-
right here. What
Would that
do you
be
see happening?
steady in for like that the month, the entire month of how it's fluctuating?
Nope, that's okay. And I probably shouldn't even ask you the question, but I just want to see what you thought this line was doing. We're looking at a daily chart right here. You'll just see if it's a monthly, it'll be an M, daily, etc. This is a resistance line because you can see it didn't go past here. We went down, we gapped up. Guess where we hit our head? At this red line again. We went down, we went up. We're not breaking through this. So in trading, in technical analysis, you have downtrends, you have uptrends, you have resistance levels where you see it wasn't getting through this resistance area. You have breakouts where they break out of a resistance area. You see this broke out from that line. And then you have support areas. And typically what happens is what was resistance now becomes support. So when it rolls over this way, it'll typically find support here.
Okay,
So there's a lot of nuances that we'll go through.
Okay.
You don't have to remember any of this stuff right now. I just wanted to introduce you to technical analysis a little bit. So what you have is technical analysis, which is what you're looking at, charting and indicators. The indicators will help you spot changes in the trends. It'll help you decide what is going on, to get more clarity of what is going on with the stock. Then you have what's called fundamental analysis. And that is just your numbers. Like, what did Tesla earn this quarter? Well, they earned $2.36 per share. You know, how are they growing? Last quarter, at this time last year, their revenue was up 17%, but this quarter, their revenue is up 27%. So year over year during this quarter, they're growing by a bunch. So it's all of those things. How much cash do they have? How much debt do they have? It's the numbers. That's fundamental analysis. What's the news on it? So we have technical analysis and fundamental analysis. And when we marry those two things and we dig into it, we can decide on, do we want to buy it? Do we not want to buy it? You know, we figure it out from there. So we'll get into all of that as well. Market sentiment. Market sentiment is really about, you know, what do people think about a particular company in the marketplace? Is sentiment high? Hey, man, we really love Tesla. We think it's going to the moon. You know, they're number one in the space as far as electric vehicles. You know, their earnings have been great quarter over quarter, year over year. These guys are doing their thing. Sentiment, it's good. You'll hear sentiment on TV, CNBC News, Fox Business News, CNN News. You know, people will be talking about money and companies, and you'll certainly can read about, you know, whether the sentiment is good or bad in, you know, newspapers like the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, Investors Business Daily, your local newspaper. Yeah, I mean, stuff is everywhere, you know. What's those things called? Message boards, Discords, you name it. TikTok, you're going to find somebody talking about
Stop.
stocks or crypto or whatever. And their
Yeah.
sentiment will either be, we love it, it's the best thing ever, so we're trying to encourage you to buy it, or we hate it, this is the stupidest stock run by the stupidest management ever, because that you can make money when the stock goes down too. And it's called
Okay.
going short. So you either go long because you're bullish. Okay. You go long because you're bullish, or if
Okay.
you're bearish, you're one who's very short the market. And you'll hear them talk about the bulls and the bears, you know, oh, you know, the market's very bearish, you know, the war's going on and the stocks have been going down, and you got this bearish sentiment, right? You hear,
Uh-huh.
oh, you know, we're nearing a recession and we got this election and blah, you know, folks may be bearish, and they may be bearish on an individual name, you know, Tesla, Elon Musk has lost his mind and he doesn't know what he's doing, and they're losing money and they're discounting Teslas, which they started to do. They dropped the prices by $2,000 all across the globe for each vehicle. They don't know what they're doing. They're bearish sentiment. And
Oh.
you know, and a lot of these folks, it could be for informational purposes. You know, I'm on here and I'm talking, I'm giving you facts as to why I'm bearish. And other times, Cherie, they just want you to sell the stock. So you have to be very careful about who you listen to, especially on message boards, because they're pretty convincing and you think they know. It's entertaining,
So
but
they want you to sell the stock in order for them to probably buy up some more stock.
yes,
At a low fixed rate. It's low right now. So they'll
they
have it. So you can come out and they can come and win on the big side a week from now.
yes. So
Look at this.
a perfect example is we'll show you one. Hopefully there won't be anything that's offensive. Usually there's not, but they're interesting people sometimes. So if I go to a message board, iHub, let me share it here. I just want you to see the comments because they're
Okay.
special people. So here we go. Can you see iHub?
Okay. Yes. The green
Yes.
one.
So you have like iHub and you have StockTwits, and there are other message boards that are out there, but these are a couple of the main ones. So you will have, Cherie, people who are literally being paid to be negative or literally being paid to be positive. They
wow.
troll message boards, and all they do is spread fear. It's called FUD, fear, uncertainty, and what's the D stand for? FUD, fear, uncertainty, and it could be divisiveness. I don't know what the D stand for. I could look it up, but that's doubt. Thank you. Doubt, fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
And
So
Yeah.
in this particular opportunity here, I'll just give you the backdrop that a Chinese company is supposed to be doing a reverse merger into this shell. Too much information, but just it's a ticker that someone is not doing anything with. So because this Chinese company is a privately held company and it's from China, which is never a good thing because of our relationship with them and all of the stuff they've stolen from us over the years. Um, it's tough to verify information. So what you will see is just, a lot of sometimes nasty comments. Let's see here. Someone's talking about a PR update is very, very soon. This one is a solid play to say the least. Glad I got in early. Let's find something here. Let's find some ugliness. I'm sure I'll find Bruce Banner on here. He's always ugly. This person, M&M's can't hold it back much longer. I see a breakout coming. Let's effing go, right? Where's my negative people? They're funny. Let's see here. Caw, caw, caw. Who let this retarded bird sticky stupid shit like that? It's all of this. Like they will they will throw up pictures to try to influence you, laughing at you like you're so stupid for buying this stock. Let's see. I'm surprised I haven't run into any yet. Just a very spirited sort of conversation that happens on these boards. And so just be mindful of that because what happens, you could be very influenced by what someone says. And so it's important for you, and you'll hear me say it, that the money is in the homework. You've got to learn how to do your own homework and don't let people influence you to do something that you did not want to do. So if you ever are about ready to buy a stock, I don't have all the answers. I'm not right 100% of the time, but I'm right often enough, and I'll help you think through it.
Okay.
We will be going through scenarios. And if you say,
Okay.
hey, Eugene, I'm looking at this stock, I'll be like, Cherie, tell me about it. What do they do? How many shares are out there?
Okay.
Why are you buying this? What
Okay.
industry are they in? Are they reporting earnings soon? What are they doing? I'm going to ask you, and you'll probably in the moment tell me, I don't know. My neighbor said something about it. And I'll be like, all right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Questions about that little bit that we went over.
Basically before I even choose to like we were looking over Tesla. So let's just give Tesla the example since we're on that. And I was saying today, okay, I have 1,000 that I would like to put in Tesla today. First, you're telling me I need to go do that research first. Check what basically what do they do? I know what Tesla do. They make cars, they're in the car.
Mhm.
How many shares do they have at the moment?
You
How much?
know, I'm sorry for interrupting you. When it's something that's big, like Tesla's a known product, we won't take like a too deep of a dive. It will be more of, hey, they got earnings coming up because I don't want you to buy the stock because the earnings are next week and they have crappy earnings, and then it hurts your wallet if earnings are horrible. That would be the first thing. Hey, what's going on? What's coming? Let's take a look at some of the news. What's been going on with Tesla? Yeah, they're reducing the price. They're struggling. Let's take a look at the chart. Yeah, the chart's been going down for a while. Like if we take a look at Tesla, let's take a look at a bigger time frame just so you can see it and understand it. 15 years. I'm looking at a 15-year chart on a weekly basis. You can see the chart, yes?
Yes, it's
Tesla,
scrolling upward.
it was going up
Mhm.
for a while. Hit
It had a
415.
crash around. It had a crash real deep right there, right in that area when it was going down deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, you see we rebounded from that deep dive, but all
Yeah.
in all, guess what? We're still holding this downtrend. And so no matter that, this downtrend,
Hurt.
really picked up pace or whatever. And then when we started recovering from it, we still hit our head, this downtrend resistance level, the big downtrend. So we're still in this downtrend. And so Tesla is looking more appetizing down in here because you figure we're about right in here. Major bounce was right here. When we ran, it was about right here, right? Right in this range right here when we ran. And then we bounced off that range when we got back to it. One thing you'll see in looking in the group that you're in, go to the blog section eventually, and you'll see different video blogs and blogs that I might take from TD Ameritrade. I might take them from ChatGPT. I might write them. I'll add video to them and to help you think through and to help you continue to learn about stocks in general. So recently I posted a blog that talked about the 3 tenets of technical analysis. And one would be that the trend is your friend. So the trend here is down and the trend is your friend. Understanding that this thing has been going down since November of 2021. This stock has, no matter the little ebbs and flows, the big picture, it's still been going down. And so knowing this trend will help you navigate through what is going on. And knowing that the last time we really took off, sure, we took off from down here, but we paused, and when we took off, knowing this point right here, trading has just memory and history. And people came in. Here's where my neighbor asked me about, should I buy more Tesla? And I told him, oh yeah, you should buy a lot of Tesla right here, right where we were at. And then he would have doubled his money. I know he probably bought more. He already owned a bunch of Tesla. And this run from $118 roughly, it ran to $280. So it more than doubled his money from here to here. But knowing that the trend is your friend, you would have said, you know what? We're right up against that line. I'm going to sell it. And you would have sold it, and that would have been a good decision. Then we came down. But we had these 2 points right here that got us into this uptrend. And then knowing that you were in an uptrend here within the wider trend, you're like, maybe I'm going to buy it right here on this support level, this uptrend we were in. If you bought it there, that would have been a good decision because we ran back up to about 270. You probably made about 25% on your money in a few weeks. And then once we broke through this uptrend line, you're like, now we have what was support right here now becomes resistance. So when we broke through it, guess where we're going to hit our head on this line? And we also have the bigger downtrend coming this way. So we doubled up right here. It's like we're going to turn back, and it did turn back. But if we had busted through, then a lot of people would have poured in because it's breaking the major multi-year downtrend. If it had broken through here and really went, there's a place, you might say, let me make this bigger. You might say, Eugene, right here, it did break through. Well, it did not close the downtrend 5% more than where the resistance was. There's a rule in here that says, in order to confirm a breakout of this downtrend, a stock needs to close 5% higher than the downtrend along with good volume. So as this was breaking, did we have good volume? We did not. In fact, volume was getting weaker in here. Right up here. And it rolled over. Yeah. So there's a lot of little nuances that you'll have to learn. But I'm telling you, it's not that hard to learn. It's just a lot of practice. It's a lot of reps. You have to see the movie a lot. If you watched your favorite movie, Training Day with Denzel Washington, and you know what's coming up, the second time you watched it, you picked up something different. The third time you watch, I didn't really notice that sweat that was right there on his right eye. And
Mm-hmm.
you start to notice stuff more, and you start to understand the movie more when he said certain things, and it's no different in trading stocks.
Okay.
It will seem like a foreign language to you right now, but after you start learning the language, you're like, I understand what he's saying. And then you start to get it. You're like, oh, I see what Eugene is saying. Like my wife, she listens to me. She's sitting right over there listening to me now. She's at work, but she's heard me talk about this stuff so much. She's starting to, she knows, like, because she's heard
Mm-hmm.
so many times.
Yeah.
And I promise you'll be the exact same way. 3 months from now, I'll say, Sheree, tell me about this. What am I going to say about this stock? You're going to say, da-da-da-da-da. You're just going to start rambling. I'm like, yeah, she's learning. She's getting it.
Okay.
Um, all right, let's see here. We're an hour in. Let's do a little bit more here. Okay. There are different trading strategies they want. My little list wants me to go over. You have value trading, value strategies where you're looking for something, some investment that represents good value. Well, I would imagine all the time you're looking for something that represents good value, but there are certain criteria that meets what would be specifically called value investing. And I can't even think all of the details of it now. It's probably something that is like we're 3 months from Christmas. Target is on it's pulled back from its stock price, but they typically do well during the shopping season. And given where it's currently trading, it represents good value for what, value investing, the numbers, the scenario. We're looking for value, but they'll drill into the numbers a little bit more. There's long-term investing. Obviously, you're holding something longer term versus short-term investing and short-term trading. There's growth investing. You're buying the Nvidias of the world, the Facebooks of the world, maybe Spotify is growing like crazy. Netflix probably not growing like crazy, but they are growing. You growth investing, stocks that are on a trajectory like this. They just keep adding a whole lot of business or a whole lot of customers. Day trading, we talked about, that's trading typically the same day. I might buy something 5 minutes from now and turn around and sell it. And then swing trading is, you might be buying Tesla today. They have earnings in a week, and you're taking a different position in it, and you're hoping to swing to a profit, like a swing trading, like you're literally
Mhm.
a swing because there's an event that's coming up. So swing trading. Let's see here. Risk management. Cherie, the most important thing you can do is take care of your money.
Okay.
When you're trying to learn in this space, you have to put in protective sort of orders to protect your money. So here's what this would look like. If I buy whatever, let's pick something. How about
Sorry. And notes, and I know I can go back and view, but I'm taking short notes too.
yeah, if I buy what you see on your screen here is a stock that I've made a healthy amount of money on the last day and a half. The stock ran up. It was in this uptrend. I got a couple of three points, and I could draw this line, and it's out like this. And then that uptrend got more exacerbated or more pronounced, going up. And so these are open orders. So if this stock comes down, I will automatically buy it. And then when I hover over it, you see it says buy 229 shares of that company at $2.18.
Mm-hmm.
And then, have these other orders here if we really pulled back. So if I were to buy here, wherever here, two, no, here, say 246 where we're trading at. And I thought that the company was not going to hold this kind of support range right in here because we've been doing this channel thing. See how we're in this channel, be like railroad tracks. We're in this channel trading range. But if I thought that the company was going to, the trading was going to take us down below, what is this? It starts with an S, support. And what is this right here? It starts with an R, resistance. Resistance and support. Uptrends, downtrends, right? There'll be lots of little terms, but the four main ones. Uptrend, you can see we're in an uptrend, right? Uptrend. Downtrend, you can clearly see we're going down. And then you have this trading range in here where you see we seem to be kind of over the last hour, we haven't really broken through this area. And we haven't really gone through this area down in here. So it's in this range. And actually the range started right in here where we closed in here. So about the last hour and 15 minutes, the stock's been in a range from about 256 down to about 236. So a 20-cent range that it's in. So if I bought it right now at 246, which is in the middle of this range, I might want to protect my money just below this support range, this support line. So I might buy it at 246, but I might say, you know what, if it drops down to here, I'm going to put in a sell order. And I'm going to say I bought 100 shares. I might say sell at a limit. A stop limit of whatever the price is, and it would automatically sell.
Okay.
So, and we'll get into all of that. But typically what we want to do is if you spend $1,000, say you spent $1,000 at one time on Tesla and you bought it at whatever it's trading at, let's call it $150. We would want to, and you really thought this company was hot to trot and it was going to make some money, but we wanted to protect that money. We'll probably go $1,000 times 0.98%. So we only lose 20 bucks. So that 0.98 is taking out 2% from the 1,000. So look, if it doesn't go our way, we're only going to lose this much money.
$4. Okay.
Automatically sell because we got to protect the money while we're trying to learn. Does that make sense? The problem, Cherie, is that the market makers, they can see all of that. They have these big, short, giant computers and they're like, look at all those stop losses. They're called stop the loss. And they can see them. They're like, we might take it down a little bit to take out those stop losses, which will automatically make you sell. And they take the shares for their inventory and they bring the stock right back up. And you're like, oh, and then, the stock actually goes higher, but it took your order out. And you lost 20 bucks. They took your shares and they still took it back up. It happens. It's called a stop loss. But the good thing is it protected your money. So then if the stock started going up, you could always bring the stop loss up to trail it on the way up. So then if, now I'm protecting the gain. So if we went up from, whatever, it was $150, it went up to $175. I'm just going to slide my stop loss right up below it. So if I'm busy at work, look how easy it slides. So if I'm busy at work, I can just slide the stop loss right up behind it. So if this stock goes up a bunch and say this was a sell order, this is a buy order here, but say these were sell orders, this was a sell order, I could just slide it up right behind it. And it would automatically sell if it went down. So in this example here, say you bought the stock right here at $1.92, and you can see the prices over here. So when I hover over this, whatever, $1.88, we'll say, and say you had a 2% stop loss, right? How would we do that? $1.88, right? Times 0.98%. It's $1.84, right? Just simple math. So we had a stop loss at $1.84. You bought the stock at $1.88. The next 15 minutes, the stock went up to here, 224, 225. Now you're up about 12% on your money. But we slide the stop loss now up to protect that money in case it turned down. So we'll lock in that money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so all we're doing is just managing the money. Because once we're in the money, we're like, oh, we're not going to lose the money. We're going to
Yeah,
slide
that's
that
where that
stop
risk
loss.
management comes into play,
Yes, it
or
does.
protecting your money. Okay.
That's all we're
That's where
doing,
the
especially when
management
you know you're
comes in.
busy, you're at school, someone's going to call you about some fight or some nonsense or whatever. You better have ways to protect your money because you don't want to be gone for 20 minutes and come back and you're like, "Good gracious, I was already in the green. Only thing I had to do was just take the one extra step to protect my money because I knew I was going to walk away from the computer too, and I would have been good." So right here, look here, we're starting to turn. Remember this channel we were in?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and buy this right here. So buy, edit. I could buy it at the market, but I'm going to say I'm going to buy $500 right here at 260. We're starting around 265. Confirm, send. And there's the buy right there. About 188 shares at 265. So what I could do now is, because see this channel we were in, we're starting to break through it. Within the channel, we were making higher lows, low, higher low, higher low. But remember the rule here, we ideally want to see this thing go 5% above this line, and we're not there yet. So if it doesn't go anywhere, this would be called a head fake. So you want to have good volume here to ensure that we're getting this breakout of this channel. So what I can do then to protect that little money, I could say right click, sell, and we'll do the exercise just so you can see it. Sell, edit. What did I buy? Hold on 1 second. What did I just buy? Can't remember how many shares. I want to do it exactly. Let me log in. So I suppose I can do it on there, but I like doing everything on my phone. That is what we do on phones. So I can look at account activity. Okay, so I bought 188 shares at 263. So right now we're at 264, 263 on the bid. People say, hey, I want to buy it at 263. And then we got people on the ask saying, hey, I want to sell it at 264. So it's moving all over the place. I can look at level 2 to get an idea of what is going on. But here's what we'll do for the exercise. So I bought 188 shares of it. So I go back to sell 188. You can see sell 188 shares of NIVF, which is the stock. And I can go, what did I buy it at? 263, 263 times 0.98 is 258 really, right? So a 2% dip. And what I would do, which that would have just taken it out, I will do 257, good for the day. And I'm going to do a sell stop limit order, which I don't know that I want to do just yet because I think it'll take it out. Because we're right on it. Let me see here. Hopefully it'll go up a little higher so I can put it in. Give me 1 second before I put it in. I want to see this go like to 266 or something.
Okay.
Well, 250. All right. So for giggles, we'll put it at 257 to watch what happens. Because the bid is 258.5. I'm going to put it at 257. Confirm. Enter. So there it is. 188 shares, stop limit order. Now they may take out the stop, which they just did. See, Phil. So it automatically sold. It's gone.
That's
But
quick.
just that quick because I was too close to it, and folks can see it. So what I needed to do is wait a little bit longer for that share price to be maybe at 266. So if this range right in here, because it's tough to get the exact number here, you know, because you got some of this in here, and then you got this one that went over it, and you got this one, you know. So we're in here. So if we're at, say, 257 is resistance times roughly 105%. I maybe should be waiting till I'm getting to about 269 before I really should buy it, because it gives it a separation from this resistance area. Does that make sense? We got to make
Yeah.
sure something is going away from it, because if you don't get away from it enough, you're still within the range for it to stay within the channel. You're not far enough away from it, because once you get far enough away from it, people will say, oh, it's breaking through the resistance area, and then more buying will come in, and then we'll have an opportunity to go higher. So that's an easy example to show what is going on. So the big run up today was pretty easy. And then we've leveled off. And so on a bigger time frame, because we were looking at a 15-minute time frame, this is an hour time frame. And you can see here, never make stuff harder than what it is. This is resistance. Closed here, couldn't get through here, still can't get through here. So let me clear all this out. You'll get used to looking at
Okay.
what you're looking at. Too much yet?
No, it's not too much. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm understanding how it goes with this, because I see right there where you says it's bigger closed, and then it didn't here in here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and don't really even worry about taking a deep dive, because you know you're new to it, and I'm always guilty of giving people too much information when they're new. But you'll see the information that I've given you, and you'll go back and look at the tape, the video. It'll just start to click eventually. But last example, you see this was in a channel. See it?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we broke through it, we also had good volume, because you see the volume spikes. This is a spike in volume. And when we broke through this resistance area, guess what we did?
It broke through and it got even bigger right there. Like
And we
it
went
broke
up, right?
really between there,
Right.
between the
So,
breakthroughs, there
right.
was a big breakthrough.
It was a very good thing. So right now we have another resistance area, because for the last 3 hours, this stock has not gone through this range. We're making higher lows. See this corner here, and that corner there, and that corner there?
Mm-hmm.
So within the trading range, or the channel, same scenario. We're in a channel or we're in a trading range. Within that range, we are making higher lows, and we're going to try to kick the door down here soon. It's flirting with it, but we're going to need volume to come in. It wants to go. You were at 264. Remember, I bought it at 263. It took
Mm-hmm.
the other shares. When we get through, this is why alerts are good. I'm going to put an alert. Alert me if we trade at 268. I want to know when the bid is at 268. When people are like, hey, I want to buy it at 268, it means we're
Mm-hmm.
starting to go through this resistance area. And if we don't make it through there, I've got waiting arms of I want to buy it if we start to come down. And I already have my orders here. So I'm ready for it. Go ahead and come back down so I can rebuy it and then go back up. All right, it's probably enough for blowing up your head today. Let me see, was there anything else on it?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
So you just put the notification to sell when it's at 268, correct? So
No,
when it
this was to not to sell. This was to notify. This is an alert. I want to know when it's at 268, because so I can consider buying it, because
oh,
this is
okay.
breaking the resistance at 268.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
It's
Yeah. Because remember, you've got
268 time.
alerts.
Yeah.
You got open orders if you want to buy something. You got sell orders if you want to sell something. And you also have alerts. These are alerts. Hey, system, let me know when we're at this price point.
Okay.
And because then I'll need to decide, are we going up another level? So if it's the same thing here, Cherie, if we were right here, this was our resistance area, just like this one is. Hey, alert me if this thing trades right here at about 142. Say this wasn't the candle yet. Say the only thing you could see was this candle. And this is where we were, just like we are right here. Alert me if we break through at about 145. And when it did that, it alerted me and I bought more and I got good gain on my money. I already had owned it back in here, but when it broke through resistance, I bought even more. And then we got a big run. So now we're consolidating. After something runs like this, it has to get time to get out the people who really want to sell and take the money, and people who think it's going to higher that are buying. We got to balance that out between buyers and sellers. And that process of balancing stuff out is called consolidation. We're consolidating. We're kind of figuring out what we're doing. And so we've touched good stuff today. So what I would tell you is if you have some money, would be to this week look to open a brokerage account.
Okay.
And whether you fund it with $500 or $1,000 or whatever, I want you to open a brokerage account and but don't do anything. Just open it. Just
Okay.
open it. See if you can get it. And if you don't do it this week, it's not a big deal in case you need to wait a couple of weeks or whatever.
And that's my homework for the week, or was that?
Yeah, and some of the things, because you can look through some of the videos that would be right here. If I get into hold on, let me get there. Okay, so it would be I'm got a little sheet for you here. And bookmark Trade Central on your phone and on your laptop. So bookmark it on the phone and the laptop, so you can go right to it. And I want you to get familiar with the platform, familiar with Convene. I want you to touch everything.
Okay.
I want you to become an affiliate, which is free. And all you need is a W-9, which you can fill out online. On the site here, you go right over here. And this is still being recorded so you can see it. Affiliate information. And it'll tell you that we pay out every week. And it should also give you an address where you can send a W-9. And what you need is either a PayPal account or a Venmo account so that we can pay you. And what the opportunity is, because this will also help you get up extra money or pay for your membership here. So instead of paying me $100 every month, you're like, well, why don't I just go out and also earn the money through the affiliate program? So working with Eugene becomes free.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can become a qualified affiliate, is what we call it. You need a W-9, a PayPal or a Venmo account, and a good email address. And we already have your email address. So, the other two things are free. Both of the other ones, W-9 is free to fill out, and the PayPal or Venmo account is free as well. So, and when you get that done in the system, you're able to go to the affiliate premier groups, click on it. And then, if other people that wish to learn how to trade, there's lots of groups here. You know someone that wants a lot of individual attention and they want to meet with me twice a week. It's $2,000 a one-time payment. The affiliate percentage is 30%. How it works is it's not a pure 30% of this. 30% of this number I've agreed to pool over to the affiliate program. So $710 goes over to the affiliate pool. Of that $710, because you're a qualified affiliate and you're the person that recommended Bob Smith, you make 40% of, and when he uses your link, you make 40% of that 710. So you make like $280, which pays for 3 months of training with me. But if it's something as simple as our group here, it's the same scenario. $100 a month, 50% of the 100 goes over to the affiliate program, so $50. Of that $50, you make 40% of it, or $20. So every time Bob Smith pays his $100, you make $20 every single month. But when you do that, money starts to stack, when you start to just, especially if you're good at marketing and you know people, and it doesn't have to be my stuff. It can be anybody's stuff, like, Live Well with Dr. Mel. She's a physical therapist. And if I go to her group, Health and Wellness, there's Dr. Mel. Fall Prevention for Older Adults. She's got a single payment thing, pays out 30%. Some sort of recipe book, Jody Watkins. There's lots of Ask Dr. Mel. There's group includes access to her, live video calls, etc. There's lots of stuff in here. Someone who's great to know is Lisa has done well. Where's Lisa's group? Insider Secrets. She used to work at the Social Security Disability Administration office for years and years. She helps veterans get their disability benefits. She's got a single payment of $4.99. They're able to, only thing you would do is click on her, preview her group, and you can find out more information about what she does here. And then you can either copy and paste it and put it someplace. But if I go back, let's see here. Lisa. Yeah, I might copy all of this, without the Premiere thing, that, hey, I might copy this and then copy this. To qualify Premiere, yeah. I might copy this and then copy this, but not that. And say, and maybe some other information, and then you would just put your link. And so if I'm in her group, say I go to communities. And go to my profile. Right here, I can grab the invite link to her community. Say it was a public community where people can join the front part of it. But if I'm selling her course, then I need to get into the link that will show her course. So again, it was a little confusing. If there's an area where people can join just to take in free content. So for her, this is that area. Here are her members that are in there, and they're able to consume some free content about, working and receiving SSTI, and she's got lots of blogs in here, etc. So, but when they join this area, and we'll go through this, they'll be using your link. So my link, my number is number 8. Your number is whatever it is, 3,700 and something, or whatever it is, right? So if I knew that you were a veteran that was maybe looking to get your Social Security benefits or help with it, I might say, Cherie, this person used to work for the SSDI, or the Social Security Disability Administration. Here's a link to access some of her free content. And if you want to grab her course, She's been helping lots of people. And then when they join to get more information, they join using your link. So if they decide to buy her course, the link is attached to you, just like Amazon or Best Buy or Target. It's an affiliate link. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
lots of sense.
Yeah, lots of sense. So there's a lot of different folks on here. So if you ever get to a point that you wish to become a premier member like me, where you're able to have courses or coaching services or whatever, you certainly can do that. And if you do, you are attached to me. And if you make that payment every month, I will receive free dinner. And I'll be like, thank you, Sheree.
Oh, wow.
Right, right. And it would be the same way for you. You know, you bring in someone we know at work or people if they buy a course or they become a premier member or they become an affiliate, whatever, that's just the nature of business. That's Amazon. That's all of it. That's what everybody does.
Mhm.
Just shaking hands. Yeah, so that's really it. I want you to look around. I want you to bookmark this stuff on your phone or your laptop. I want you to become familiar with Convene. This whole platform is going to change, unfortunately, fortunately. Unfortunately for you, because it's going to change, and especially if you start to get used to it. But fortunately, is because it's going to get a lot simpler. There'll be some AI stuff to it, a lot of bells and whistles. Probably 3 to 4 months, our whole system will change. We got 3 tech people working on it to simplify it, to make it more user friendly.
Okay.
I want you to become an affiliate this week, and maybe join a group or two. Something you might be interested in. We've got a woman who just started Chosen Heart. She's got a son that I think he's autistic. Haven't joined her group yet, so I just click on it. It's what's her name? Alicia, Erica. It's getting the E right. Dr. Erica Bush. And then looks like, because I haven't been in here, so this is all new to me. Special needs parents, empowerment, collaborative wellness, about her, amazing things I can do. So she's building a community to help special needs parents. So I'm going to join her community. And she has a pop-up welcome video that I can watch. Let's see what she said. Can't hear her. Maybe because I got this thing off.
And welcome to our community, Chosen Hearts. This is a safe and welcoming space for special needs parents and caregivers to find healing, empowerment, advocacy, resilience, and to thrive in a supportive community. We prioritize personal well-being, foster resilience, and offer support. Our community is a place to share our experiences, to find a sense of belonging, and to celebrate each other's victories, both big and small. Together, we are chosen to navigate this journey with courage and compassion. So again, I welcome you to this community, and I look forward to navigating this journey with you. Together, let's thrive.
So there's a pop-up video that you can do to welcome people to her particular community. And then there's a podcast that she takes a deep dive into it. And so as a member of her group, it's just started. There I am, Eugene Brown. And we will help her along the way grow her community. And if she offers any courses or coaching or maybe none of that, then that is fine too. If she's got any subgroups or anything that she's trying to share, or the announcements or discussion board or blogs, it'll all be in here. If there's any documents that she has in here that we can help her grow, that's been approved by her, and if she needed to edit her community, the front page and stuff, she can do all that through the edit feature. So there's a CRM, there's a project management feature, there's a document management feature. There's a lot of things that it'll eventually do. You can also do currently still build tests and surveys and print certificates, and it's a whole host of stuff, but we'll get into all of that another day.
Okay.
Last call for alcohol. What do we have? We're going back to school tomorrow.
Well, what do we have from what I've learned so far?
Any
Uh,
questions?
Look, I don't know because you could be asking a trick question like Eller. Well, I know that I have to do my homework. I'll go look into that brokerage account this week, and the Venmo I already have, and to become an affiliate. But to go over what all we spoke about today. First we spoke about the fear, the unclarity, and the doubt, and we spoke up again about of what why do people buy stock?
Mhm.
What is the reasons behind buying stock? And we also spoke about like the value of trading, the risk management of buying stock. You need to pay attention always at the risk management part because that is your money and you need to always be able to protect your money. So you need to pay attention to the candles within the stock too.
Yeah, there's a
Meaning
lot.
if you're seeing that the stock is going good and it's going good, but then you also notice that it had a little breakage point, just pay attention because if you walk off, you can go ahead and preset your computer to either sell or to either buy if you're away and you feel good about the situation. You need to make sure you pay attention to that and make sure that you're always marking and going back and doing your research because you need to know what type of company, how many shares, what do they do, what are their earnings, and how they've looked over the period.
Yep.
And before you just buying, you don't want to just buy it because someone tells you, oh, well, it's $200. Kellogg has been doing good. No, you need to do your own research because that's your risk management. That's the protection of your money. And OTC, we typically try to stay away from the OTC because it's like not even a penny. A lot of the stocks are not even like a penny stock.
Yeah, and I don't want to say you stay away from them because I don't think I said that. I just told you that
No,
it's very risky.
yeah, it's very risky.
Yeah, because risk can be minimized with homework and risk management, protecting your money because there are some very good plays. I've made a lot of money in the OTC, a lot of money.
Okay. So, and always pay attention to big cap, mid cap, small cap, when buying shares of your stock. The taxable account is my brokerage account that I'll be open or
Within it can also be tax sheltered or taxable. Yes. Within the brokerage account itself, you can have a tax sheltered account in there too.
yeah, a tax shelter or taxable account.
Yeah, and you can certainly do both if you wish.
Okay. And we did the common stock, the preferred stock, the A, B, and the C of the preferred stock of who's what and how it sells and how it goes. And you need to always be able to control what you can control.
You did good.
God.
You did good. You're
E.
paying.
Brown, I can't lie. Officer E. Brown, I'm trying to make sure that I do and that I do everything because when you spoke to me that night, us first working together, and you spoke this and you shared the information and you shared the video, I looked and I said, I would love to be a female in my family that has broken all chains off of this family. And I would love for my kids, especially my daughter being my only girl, to look up at me and see what I have accomplished as a young African American woman. Not just it to be about color, because that's not who I am, and you know that, but that hold strong in this world that we are in today. So this is more to me than what you may think that I am trying to perceive or take in. And my ADHD kicked in a little bit there, but hey,
That's all
I
right.
have my notes and I'm taking things, and I'm doing this because, like you said, picture it like someone has just completely spit in your face or spit on your kids and spit on your life. So I feel like, in the past, I have been spit on so many times and doubted and walked on, that now I feel like God himself just probably sent have this breakthrough. So I need to study, I need to focus, and I am down with
Good.
trying to be that woman, not black, white, Indian, Chinese, that woman that everyone look at and say, hey, she made herself self-made, whether I'm a millionaire or have a couple 100,000 that has me living where I'm comfortable. But I would prefer to do what you did, to completely go buy a home for my
Amen.
kids, for
Yeah.
my kids.
And it's
Yes.
very, very doable, but just remember, you're young and get rich a little slowly.
Yeah.
Your
Get
time, get
And then
rich.
when I do get rich, act as though I'm not rich. Live the same. You can buy the nice things and you want the nice things. So my home and outside and inside will be nice, but still live like you were before so you can maintain, your money, that risk management. It comes into play even after the stop.
It does. It
Protect your
really does.
money.
Well,
Yes.
good stuff. I'm gonna click on this, stop recording.